What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Welcome to Movie Schmovie, episode number 84. Correct? Am I right on that? 84?
You were right.
Okay, good.
No.
That's what we call the Orwell.
My math is correct on that. The Orwell? Mm-hmm. Explain, John.
George Orwell wrote
I
the novel
understand.
Nights. Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to hear you say it. To see if you actually would.
You notice how quickly I ditched the sentence. I was like, well, Steve's got it. Well, we're laughing. I hope everyone out there listening is having a laugh,
That's
too.
just the taste.
I know.
That's just the tip.
This is a
That's just the tip. I'm so sorry. So, yeah, tonight we're going to do the fall preview. We've done this. I know we did it last year. I guess you guys may have done it before that as well.
Yeah.
So this will be the third annual Movie Schmovie fall preview.
Wow. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
That there's been 3.
it's a long way coming. Long time coming.
Long way coming. Are you color coding that for me?
Yeah,
Coding it.
I am color coding
Yes,
it.
the subtext for this episode is that Ronald is exhausted, I think. Which
In life.
Yeah.
In life.
He's not feeling it these
Transitional period. It's beautiful though.
Yeah.
There's something beautiful about it though.
But before we get into the fall preview, which we will do just shortly, we wanted to kind of just touch base on, I think, 2 things.
Yes.
We were able to see one of today's releases, this week's releases, the big release, in Insidious Chapter 2.
Insidious Chapter 2.
I almost said Insidious 2 Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Second chapter. I don't know. So yeah, Insidious Chapter 2 in theaters. James Wan returned to directing it. Lee Wan-L wrote it.
Who must have had deja vu about a lot of things in this film that were similar to... I mean, not only is it a sequel to, obviously, Chapter 1 of Insidious, but it's also so close on the heels of The Conjuring. It reminded me of like the inferior sibling of The Conjuring in some ways. Now, I was not a huge fan of Insidious. I know you enjoyed it quite a bit.
I did, yeah.
I was not a fan of it either.
This movie picks up pretty much exactly where the last movie left off. And actually, if there's anything that's kind of interesting about Insidious Chapter 2, is the... You think there's going to be a third chapter, Steve?
Absolutely.
Is it heavily implied at the end of this film?
No doubt.
But the most interesting thing about this movie might be the way that it doubles back and connects to some of the events of the first Insidious, which, again, even though it didn't really stick in my mind as a particularly great movie, there were scenes I remembered that this movie kind of replays from a different angle, and that was actually well played and kind of interesting. It reminded me of like the way a Back to the Future movie would go back, a sequel would go back and kind of show you events from the last movie from a different point of view.
Yeah, from a different set of eyes. No, yeah, that was really interesting. I mean, that's something that I know myself and a lot of people were wondering, like, how are they going to make a sequel out of this film? I mean, the first one ends on a note that you say, okay, there's a sequel, or there could be a sequel. But you wonder, like, is that the intention, or was it the intention with that movie? Like, did they know they were going to make a sequel?
Yeah.
And when they announced they were, and that the 2 original writer and director were coming back to the sequel, you know, it was like, well, what are they going to do to further that last shot? And like you said, it picks up right where that last shot ends in the first one, which is kind of cool.
That is
and,
cool.
and, you know, the setup in the first, like, you know, maybe 30 minutes of the movie or so, 40 minutes, it felt kind of stale to me. Like, I was kind of curious to see what was going to be that tie, or what was going to explain why or how, or why do I give a shit that this is continuing? Because admittedly, I was a huge fan of that first film.
And they really do repeat so many things from the first movie.
Yeah.
I will give them, again, at least the credit that once they build up to what they're building up to, you see that they were twisting it a little bit. But the feeling you have in that first half hour is really like, oh my God, I've seen this exact moment before.
Yeah, I was very discouraged.
Not just in Insidious, but in The Conjuring. I mean, it's the creepy noises in the house. Someone's walking around the house. They're investigating. It starts to really feel like James Wan. What I was noticing in this movie was, well, they've changed the wallpaper. This house is
very
in,
similar.
the house in The Conjuring was kind of falling apart. This house is in better shape. But I kept noticing, like, what are the differences between this movie and that movie in terms of the way the scares are laid out? And sometimes it was really hard to tell. You know, another actress walking up a stairway very slowly. This movie, did you notice they had creepy red lights in the house?
Stained glass?
Yeah, the stained glass gave them some creepy red lights.
I feel like comparing it to Conjuring is kind of interesting, because The Conjuring is like, stuff happens, but it's a lot of nothing happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that where you don't deliver on that scare, or like, you know, or it's just like a little bit of a tease to it. Where this is much more, I guess, fast paced. Like, when something you think will happen, it pretty much does.
Oh, okay.
And it's similar in Insidious. You know, I felt like it's the same way. But kind of going back to what we were saying about how it does tie to the first film, I would definitely say that's the strongest part of this movie. And there's a couple cool scenes that I was definitely kind of into. The main, I guess, villain, Ghost, the bride in black from the first film, which found, Patrick Wilson's character Danny. Oh, no, I'm sorry,
Josh.
yeah, the other, what is it? Dalton is is his son. Yeah, that was the ghost that was basically haunting Patrick Wilson's character from the first film, and that's kind of the anchor of what they're investigating, and it kind of has a little bit of more of a mystery element to it in terms of the two paranormal investigators kind of kicking off this whole investigation about what actually
Specs
happened.
and Beard.
Yeah, Specs and Beard. Right. You said it should have been called Beard.
Yeah, there's actually Specs and Tucker, but I just was noticing in this movie that the one guy's named Specs, the other guy should just be named Beard because that's his one character trait.
He's got a big beard.
Yeah, and you maybe remember them. They were like the bumbling comic relief kind of from Insidious.
Gotcha.
And Specs is actually is Lee Whannell. He's the writer, but
you can tell because he's not that great of an actor.
He found his way into this film one way or another.
Somehow he got a
I
good
wrote
role in
this
this film.
movie.
Yeah, right.
Much like Saw.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I had fun with it. I didn't love it. I definitely was a little disappointed. Definitely because I love The Conjuring. Even though they're two different things, I was blown away by The Conjuring. Loved it. A lot of the same. I feel like people that liked Insidious, I think, will still enjoy this film. I just felt like it just felt too much of a retread until you see where the connection's being made, and then at that point, I was definitely more into it.
Yeah,
I was a lot more invested.
The idea of the ghost that's actually doing the haunting in this story, there's a pretty neat reveal when you find out who the ghost is, and it ties into the first one, and it ties into ideas that you kind of know are in place for this one. I thought that aspect, you call it the mystery aspect, but I do think that aspect of it's kind of unraveling and you're sort of figuring out what's really going on. I don't remember that much about it, the specifics of the plot of Insidious, and I found myself thinking maybe certain moments would have had more of an impact if I had cared to remember more details about Insidious, or if I'd gone back and watched it. Carl, was he in the first movie?
No.
So there's a new character who kind of is is like an old friend of the paranormal investigator who died at the end of the first movie. Do you remember that actress Lynn Shay played her? So her old friend is in this movie, and he's kind of a main character, and the way that he contacts the dead is kind of an interesting way of doing it. And there's a few ways in this movie that you see different people who have a gift for contacting the dead, and they do it in different ways. Some of that stuff felt kind of fun to me and almost reminded me of something like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where it's like a genre thing and they're sort of spoofing it while they're doing it. But yeah, I mean, I think in the end, the silliness was what undid most of the scares. There weren't really that many scenes that played that scary.
Definitely not.
Which is a problem for a movie like this, I think.
Yeah.
But more because I don't think that was as damaging to it as the kind of retread aspect. I really did feel like these are shots, even scenes that would have made me jump and that I think made the audience jump. I found myself thinking, wasn't that the exact same shot of a ghost in white moving across a hallway in the background in The Conjuring or in another movie? And
Yeah.
One thing I will say was that really left an impression on me was something I took notes. I'm back to taking notes. You guys know I used to take notes and I lost my notebook, and then I didn't take notes in movies anymore. But I'm back at it, so I get to write little things down like Patrick Wilson, supernatural dick. I think Patrick Wilson is clearly having fun in this movie playing this twist on this character, and there's one scene that actually was one of the most suspenseful in the movie, and it's a scene where Carl has he's basically come to, and he's trying to sedate Patrick Wilson's character for reasons I don't want to get into. And then Patrick Wilson his character Josh is also trying to figure out what this old guy Carl is doing. And there's a moment between these two guys that really reminded me almost of like a moment on Breaking Bad, where you have two characters where we know what both of them are up to, and they're trying to figure out what the other guy's up to. And it's just this moment of tension, and the suspense plays out in a long enough scene that you're going I don't know what's going to happen, because one character seems to get the upper hand, and then the other character seems to get the upper hand, and it plays out as just a conversation between the two guys. And it was genuinely a good scene. I think, James Wan can still put together a creepy scene, even when the movie's not working that well. And in that sense, it reminded me of some of the things that worked well about The Conjuring. But that was really, one scene in a 100-minute movie that really stuck with me. And I agree with you that the image of the bride in black, there were a couple of shots of that character up close that were sort of like the stuff of nightmares, and that
Absolutely.
and that worked for me.
Yeah.
Does the mediocrity of this movie affect your perception of The Conjuring?
In a way, it does, but I don't think it would if I were to watch The Conjuring again in like 6 months or something like that. I don't think I'd be thinking about Insidious 2. I think it was more that it more hurt this movie than The Conjuring. But it does make me think maybe James Wan shouldn't have two very similar movies coming out within like 2 months of each other.
Yeah, it's very close.
I mean, that almost seems like it's a good thing for him, but the two movies are so similar in terms of the type of horror that they are. I don't know. What do you think of that aspect, Steve?
I mean, that point, yes, but I don't think that this has anything that it doesn't affect my judgment of The Conjuring at all. I mean, if anything, I feel like it makes me like The Conjuring more.
Yeah, because it's so much better.
Yeah,
It sounds like it's a lot better.
It just feels mediocre to me. I mean, there's a couple standouts here and there, like pieces that the scenes that you talk about, but otherwise it's kind of just standard. It felt more standard to me, where I felt like Insidious even personally stood out a lot to me. But it felt like a sequel. It felt like a cash grab maybe. But I have no doubt there will be a third one. If this makes the money that the first one made, they will make a third one.
The audience seemed pretty well manipulated by the movie. Like, they were laughing when they were supposed to laugh.
The audience was totally into it. And I mean, a lot of the feedback afterwards was a lot better than I thought it was, just my reaction to it. But
I did hear more laughs than like scares as far as the way the audience overall reacted. It was that kind of tense laugh. And I know one of your least favorite things is people laughing at horror movies, but I feel like this audience was laughing more in the spirit. The movie definitely has a few moments where there's a little bit of tension, and then there's a laugh that kind of cuts the tension. But Ronald, whenever you don't make it to a movie that we're seeing, I always try to make note of any bad dialogue that I thought you might appreciate. So there's two pieces of dialogue that I jotted down this time. One was when a cop, and it's something about the way the cop delivers this line. He delivers it in a kind of casual, like, I'll call you later about this kind of way. And it's when he's talked to Rose Byrne about whether her husband is responsible for the death of this woman who was killed in such a way that her neck has these really gouges, these marks on it, really deep gouges. And he says to her, "I'll let you know if forensics matches those marks to your husband." That's a nice casual thing to let someone... Like, I'll give you a call. If it seems that you're going home with a murder, I'll give you a ring. I'll ring you ding. And the other one was later when the main villain says, "I miss pain. I've forgotten how much I liked it, but not as much as inflicting it on others."
That sounds like something from Batman, like the first Batman.
It was
like
it was just a really ham-fisted line, and it was like, "Bear with me here. I miss pain. Are you with me? I had forgotten how much I liked it. Here's the twist. Not as much as I like inflicting it on others." You don't know to be scared until the end of that.
Very hammy. It's very...
And Patrick Wilson is an actor who is kind of hammy. I mean, I like him in certain roles, but he sounds like his voice is dubbed on almost every movie that he's in for some reason. Because he's got this very,
very dubbed sound to his voice. I agree. I love bad dialogue.
So if you're a fan of the first one, I'd say still see it.
Yeah.
I think you'd enjoy it or be entertained at least by it, because it is more entertaining, I think, than it is scary of anything. But it's in theaters now.
Did you notice that about 15 minutes in, or did you see those people that left about 15 minutes into the movie that had a baby?
No.
It was like 15 minutes in when things started to get a little bit like there had been a couple of big scares and it had gotten kind of loud, but it wasn't as though you didn't know what kind of movie this was.
Right.
And these two people ran down and they had like
I did see that.
the
You're
baby,
You're right.
Like the kind of like a carrier for a baby that you would snap into a car seat, that kind of carrier that you carry around when a baby's like 6 months old or smaller.
Why would you go to the movies?
Why would you go to see that movie?
This is a mistake.
Yeah, it was just insane. And then they even kind of stopped. You know how people will stop and stand in the little aisle and kind of still watch the movie? They stood over there for a while, and I was just thinking, who are you?
Satan references. We must go. What did they think it was going to be about?
Insidious. There's
not much.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah, maybe they did think.
So weird.
So yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
The other thing you wanted to mention, John, was 2 years from now.
Oh yes.
Just short of 2 years from now might be when the world ends.
Well, it was this past week they announced that Ant-Man, the Edgar Wright movie, which I'm more interested in that as an Edgar Wright movie than I am particularly as like a superhero or comic book movie, but that Ant-Man was moved forward from November of 2015 to July of 2015, which means that it's coming out like a couple of months after the Avengers Part 2. But also in the same summer as Jurassic World, which was just announced, Batman and Superman, and Star Wars Episode 7, which hasn't been given an
Oh.
official date yet. But they're saying still summer. There's been some talk that Star Wars might come out in December, but Star Wars has always been a May thing. They've
It's
always kinda
definitely coming out in
owned May.
2015.
Definitely, they're sticking to that.
They're sticking to it. Okay.
But I could see moving it to the holidays only because that's getting awfully crowded. And another movie that actually kind of fits into that trend, but it's a little earlier, the Fantastic Four movie directed by Josh Trank, who directed Chronicle. And the reason that seems interesting to me is because that means the director of Chronicle has Fantastic Four, and the director of Safety Not Guaranteed has Jurassic World. So that's a case, we've talked about that trend of like indie directors kind of being given a shot at something big. So that's just a lot of big movies coming out. I mean, you would think any one of those movies might own the summer that they're in if they're actually good. But
Yeah.
The dark horse that summer though is definitely Smurfs 3.
oh, of course,
Yeah. Oh,
You
of
forgot to
course.
mention that.
I did.
We need something to replace fucking Iron Man. I'm done with all those movies. I mean, Avengers.
All those? You mean like Avengers and Captain Thor, all that stuff, or
Captain
no,
Thor.
just
Captain Thor.
Just Iron Man
They
movies.
took they took them together.
Just Iron Man.
Just
movies.
Iron Man. Okay, I gotcha.
Avengers, I'm definitely looking forward.
Well,
to.
they don't even have. I think they are too. I mean, their idea was that there are no more Iron Man movies planned right now.
I just think there needs to be a new big superhero movie or something. A new big movie. Period. Maybe if the new Star Wars movie is good, that'll. I kind of feel like we need something like a big story, like a Lord of the Rings-y sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
We're due for something
next
like
summer. There's a lot of big stuff coming out too, but it does seem like all those really huge movies. They just kept saying summer of 2015, and I started thinking, wow, that's just
It's gonna be
getting
an insane
awfully
year.
crowded. What I wonder is, because we talked last time about the way that in the summer it's not always obvious what the big films are. The way that like Iron Man came out, and like you said, it eventually made 1.2 billion. And I wonder, is that going to be good for everybody? Do all ships rise with the tide when you have a ton of big movies coming out? I mean, is it almost something intelligent for them to do to say we're all going to schedule it because then that gets people excited? That sounds like a big summer, and so people get geared up for it, and then it does well for all the movies? Or is it potentially that none of those movies will have, like you were saying before, Steve, that there's even more of a guarantee that they won't have more than a week? However big you are, then there's a bigger movie coming in a couple of weeks to kind of knock you out. Is that good for everybody, or is that gonna make the pieces of the pie smaller for everybody? What do you know about Steve about the box office history?
I would say only if the box office receipts are higher for the year to date. I mean, I think if people are just going to the movies more, then it would benefit everybody because it would be kind of in line with drawing them to a new attraction every week.
Yeah.
But I think strictly, I mean, a lot of times when you read about box office totals for the year, like you'll see the number, but then like the number of tickets is less because of inflation. So I'd say if like that is consistent throughout the year where people are buying more tickets, going to see more movies, a summer like that would benefit everybody involved, I think, because you have something in motion where people are already going to see more films, they're buying more tickets, and now you have like basically the biggest products you have on your slate coming out in the span of 2.5 months. And one every week is the big, juggernaut that everybody just has to see.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22 because like you just said, I think it's really tough though because these movies, like they're going to make, 30 to 40, maybe 50% of what they make total that first weekend, which whether it's domestic or international, I mean, that's kind of crazy these days. Like when we were talking before about the summer recap, movies in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, like would stay at number one for weeks. And that would be that word of mouth. They'd have those legs to really kind of bring it. But, I mean, that's a perfect example of what we were saying before, where there's so many movies coming out. And that's a summer where I guarantee you there's going to be like 10 movies that make like 80% of the box office for the summer.
And most of those titles, too, are sort of the pre-sold movies in a
They're the
sense.
franchises.
Yeah.
They're like the remakes, the reboots, the
So like
sequels.
word of mouth doesn't seem that magic of word of mouth that it can do for a movie that people weren't expecting. It doesn't
Right.
seem like that really applies to any of those. What I do note too when I look at that list is that it doesn't include any of the type of movies that were actually my favorite movies of this past summer. That these are all the movies that you see on the horizon and you see them coming and it seems
Yeah.
like, oh my God, that movie's going to be big or it could be great. But those oftentimes turn out to be the movies that once they go by, you go, what were we all so excited about? I don't know. I mean, I think those are all pretty you can assume that certain things about those movies might be really good. I guess Jurassic World I'm not so sure of, but just from the fact that they chose kind of an interesting director, and that I've always been a sucker for the dinosaur.
Yeah, me too.
Like
me too.
the dinosaur movies. I think that it would be interesting to see what they do with it, but it could also. Have you seen that piece of footage that they
I was
released?
about to ask you the pitch reel.
It looked sort of. I mean, maybe that wasn't finished completely, but it did look a little bit like simple, or like, I don't know, something about the textures.
I think that was something they said, like it wasn't something that's actually going to be in the movie. It was like a pitch for the special effects.
Yeah.
Whoever got the job or whatever. But I think what they're obviously that pitch was kind of working off of the premise of humans and dinosaurs coexisting. Like that's the takeaway from watching that pitch the reel, for me at least.
Yes.
Is like, I thought it was pretty slick. These, it comes down and grabs it. Have you seen it, Ronald?
No.
It's like
Little
it's like the
surfer.
flying reptile, pteranodon type bird creature that's like flying around, and then you see it come over a beach, and there's surfers, and it just like swoops through the waves and like picks up a surfer, and like tosses him through the air to another pteranodon, and they toss this guy back and forth. Poor guy, And I guess pretty soon he's like floppy and lifeless, and then they just fly away.
Does he die?
Well, I guess he's food, and then you see them going back for more. Like one of
wow.
them breaks around and swoops back down, and it actually reminded me of the How to Train Your Dragon footage because there's a lot of like swooping down and then swooping up into the clouds, But it's less heartwarming than that. But I mean, so yeah, the concept could be great. I mean, that's what you kind of wanted when you were a kid anyway, which is just to see dinosaurs romping around. But
yeah,
you just never know. Again, the fact that they chose an indie director, it bodes well for the idea that maybe the project is going to have something interesting about it. But oftentimes those movies turn out to be sort of anonymous, more than you would want them to be. But yeah, I mean, that's huge. And then I guess to me the whole Ant-Man thing, even though we're all tired of superhero movies, I think it's kind of interesting to think that whatever they're doing with the end of those Marvel movies always kind of lead into the next one. And if they have 2 months later the continuation of the Avengers, that kind of fun effect this year that Iron Man 3 was a little bit of a follow-up. It was the first one to come out that followed up the Avengers. That's kind of interesting for Ant-Man to think that whatever they build up to at the end of Age of Ultron, which is the name of the Avengers sequel, that they might, it might be some cool tie-in that just leads you right into Ant-Man. That might be kind of neat. But also, I just think Edgar Wright, I'm sure he's got something up his sleeve that's going to be fun to watch.
Makes it good.
Have you seen The World's End yet?
No. No, I unfortunately haven't.
Have you seen anything, Ronald?
Not really.
Have you looked at a list of movies that are coming out in the next few months? Oh,
there we go. Let's follow that path.
I have.
Follow the yellow brick road
I have.
to what is known as the fall.
Well, Steve, you seem pretty happy with your picks. You went with your heart on this one.
I went very instinctual. I made a list. I put all the dates out, and I just looked at it from all. And I went through a lot of the trailers too, just to watch them fresh again. Turned on my formatting bar, put on my Control Command or whatever B, and I bolted 4 titles.
Yeah.
And never went back, John.
Yep.
Never second guessed myself. I might in the next week. I don't know, but But at this point, I'm pretty confident.
You want to kick us off?
Sure. So for September, that's the start right there, actually.
Yeah.
Well, we already mentioned Insidious Chapter 2 in our brief review. That was one that I was looking forward to. But hands down, the movie I want to see for the month of September is a random movie that I knew nothing about until I saw a trailer a few months ago. Didn't even know it existed. Is Prisoners.
Oh my goodness.
And what put it over the top for me is, everything coming out on this movie from Toronto and where it's been screened at different festivals is not only exceedingly positive, but it's surprisingly positive. No one thought this movie was going to be this good in terms of how dark it is, how twisted it is, what the actual twist is, or the ending, the climax is. And everybody involved with it is just I'm fans of. So there's nothing about this movie that doesn't get me excited. I love Hugh Jackman. I love seeing him in more of a dramatic role where basically the film is about I think it's 2 daughters they disappear, right?
Yeah, it's like Thanksgiving Day, and some families are getting together, and 2 of their daughters go out for a walk and don't come back, and then it seems like it takes place over a relatively restricted time frame where they're still trying to find the girls alive. There's a ticking clock. And the cops aren't moving fast enough, and the parents think they've found, or the father, Hugh Jackman plays the father of one of the girls. Terrence Howard seems to play the other father. And yeah, it seems like there's a little bit of a taking the law into their own hands when they think the law's not moving fast enough to catch a particular guy, played by Paul Dano, who looks like it's another bad movie for Paul Dano.
Poor guy.
No,
Yeah.
we ought to one day
I
do like a retrospective of all the ways he's been brutalized on
He
film.
loves being a creep, man.
I guess he does.
He does it so well, though.
He does.
Yeah.
Especially
seems like
this
he's-
movie, he looks like such a. You want to punch him, and
Yeah.
I'm not like a punch.
And we don't
people
even know
that-
for sure that the movie might go a totally different
Right,
direction.
that's the thing.
That's
like,
what I'm excited about, because the more recent TV spots, I don't feel like it's really giving anything away, but you do sense that there's a point in this film, you see it, where like they actually do catch him,
Yeah.
and he gets through the system somehow or whatever, and that's the point that they take it into their
Yeah.
own hands. And like Jake Gyllenhaal plays the cop, one of the cops on the case.
Oh, he looks like he's gonna be so good in it.
Yeah.
Maria Bella's in it, Viola Davis, Terrence Howard, like John said. I mean, it just looks great. It's got like a 90-something% on
And it looks
Rotten
like
Tomatoes.
subtle restrained Terrence Howard too, which is awesome.
Yes.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
so
It doesn't
good.
look like
Not overplayed.
yeah.
I'm enjoying the whole idea of it making you super uncomfortable.
It looks so.
It looks like there's
That's
gonna
what
be
everything says.
every scene
Yes.
looks like it's gonna be so
So
uncomfortable.
can I just go ahead and say this was my pick for September too?
This
Because
is your pick?
nothing else is coming out in fucking
Nothing.
September. I really was. I thought about mentioning the what's it called?
I put Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Enough
That
said.
was mine.
The Julia Louis-Dreyfus,
Yeah.
James Gandolfini movie. Nicole Holofcener, I think is her name. We'll get an official pronunciation on
Pronunciation
that. But she's directed a few interesting movies, and she tends to have kind of a knack for interesting, funny dialogue that's got that sort of real life, but a little bit exaggerated. So it's kind of funny and kind of dramatic. I don't know if you've seen any of her movies, but this movie is really noteworthy just because it's one of James Gandolfini's last roles, and it's him playing apparently like a cuddly romantic character in the movie. Like Julia Louis-Dreyfus starts dating him and then finds out that she's dating her friend's ex-husband. So I mean, it's that type of drama, but the fact that it's one of his last roles and it's a type of character he didn't get to play that often. And also, I think it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus's first movie since that awful movie she made with Billy Crystal and Robin Williams. So didn't she do
Really?
that? Father's
Wow.
Day? Wasn't she in that?
Oh my god!
I think it's her
That's
first movie
quite
since
a long
that. I
time.
might be wrong.
Father's Day.
I might be wrong, but I know that she hasn't
I
done
just
a
remember
movie
loving
in a
the
long
Paul
time.
McCartney song from that movie.
But at any rate, I think that that could be an interesting movie. But when I was looking at that, yeah, far and away, 2 asterisks on my list was Prisoners. It just looks so fucking intense. And every now and then you want to see one of those movies that just takes you and puts you through the emotional ringer.
I think I want that. I want
Yeah.
that right now.
But the other movie you were going to say, Cloudy with a Chance
Cloudy
of
with a
Meatballs,
Chance of
Part 2,
Meatballs,
which does
too.
look good.
The first one was so good. I mean, I just chose this because Prisoners, I know it's gonna be good. And the first Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was so entertaining. It kind of snuck up on me.
Agreed.
I wasn't expecting it to
yeah.
be so good.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's like, what the hell is this? And so I don't know. I'm kind of banking on this being a good movie.
It's got some great voice talent. Isn't that Anna Faris?
Yep. Bill
Yeah.
Hader, Anna Faris,
Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg. Yeah.
No, it's very funny. And Mr. T was in the first one, and it sounds like someone different in this one.
It's isn't it like, is it? Oh my god.
Tracy Morgan does a really good Mr.
Is either
T.
Terry Crews or Charlie Murphy?
Yeah. I do
Really?
think
One of the two.
I do think they're replacing Mr. T for some reason. But at any
Yeah.
rate, it does look, and the designs, I mean, again,
Yeah, the whole like world of food becoming like beings,
like
of
animals
sort-
made
yeah.
out of food. Yeah, it just looks really fun and really creative and definitely very funny. So I would say those are the only 3 movies that are remaining in September that seem even.
I had 2 other possibles that I do want to see, and it's Ron Howard's Rush, which I didn't
That
have
comes
any.
out this month?
Yeah.
I didn't have
Holy
any
shit, I
interest
wanna
in it
see that.
really. I mean, but the more recent trailers, I'm sold. I want to see it.
I'm probably gonna laugh a lot while I watch that movie. It looks like, all right. So Ron Howard, great director. There's something so authentic about it that it almost looks funny.
You mean like the time?
Like the time and who the character, like the main character.
Mm-hmm.
It's something about him that almost seems like too like.
I wish that they could see the intensity of Ronald searching for a
Looking
word.
for the word.
I've
Yeah.
been watching this
He's
commercial.
holding his mouth. He's actually his hands trying to help him form the word.
Every time I watch a commercial, I think, man, this is going to be funny in some ways. Because it's something about a person that is that confident in himself.
Oh yeah. You
Serious-
mean Chris Hemsworth's character?
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth's character. It just looks really.
I've heard good things about it. It looks like really well
it
filmed,
does
and
look-
the racing scenes are supposed to be incredible. I'm not a racing fan, but I mean, it looks pretty
super
thrilling to see on
stylized,
film.
but in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Ron Howard's a good director. So.
He can be kind of middle of the road, and so I don't know. I guess
know
it was
what
a
you
movie that I never became totally excited about, but I mean, I'm sure that it'll have some value to it. It's an interesting subject, you know. I mean, I don't know much about the Formula One racers of that period, but I know that I've read a little bit about the figures that are covered in the film, and it does seem like there's some pretty interesting, larger than life characters in that world.
Yeah.
So it could be a pretty interesting movie. But there's just something about, like, I'm not that into cars. Ron Howard's movies can sometimes be kind of middle of the road. So it's just like the perfect storm of potential blandness and potential lack of interest for me, but I could easily see it being an entertaining movie. And it does look better than it sounds. Like when I saw the trailer, I thought it looked a lot better than it kind of seemed on paper.
Sure.
The actually, I'm sorry, there was two more. There was that. It was also the documentary Salinger, which looks absolutely crazy to me because I don't know. I've never really known much about J.D. Salinger's personal life, as he was like crazy, like averse to any kind of publicity. I mean,
Yeah,
but
he just dropped out of sight.
Loving
after a
Catcher in
while.
the Rye, and from what I've read about the studio, like really kind of being behind, not letting anything about this documentary out until it's actually released. Like about, I guess, what they actually uncover, what they actually are presenting in this film about his personal life.
Yeah.
Looks really interesting. And then the other one was was Blue Caprice, which is it's a drama inspired by the Beltway sniper shootings in 2002 with Isaiah Washington, which is apparently incredible. So I'm looking forward to see that, just because it was here and around where we live, and I can remember it vividly
Yeah,
when it
so
happened. It looks pretty incredible. But yeah, September's pretty dry. Prisoners.
I've heard
Tad's
Salinger is kind of a missed opportunity from a couple
Really?
people that have seen it, that have said that, like, with the footage and the research and everything that they had, they could have made a movie that was put together better. Like, they just said
okay.
that there was some, like, and they said that there's a lot of celebrities talking about J.D. Salinger without really any context for why why are we hearing Philip Seymour Hoffman's thoughts on J.D. Salinger, that kind of thing. But they did say that with the information that they gathered, I think that's what I read, is that they said with the information gathered, they could see a really good movie being made out of it, but just the way this movie was put together, it was not great. But still, I'm with you in the sense that it's a fascinating subject, and he's a guy who you really don't know that much about, and all I've ever known about him is that he kind of avoided the spotlight, and so him dying has been like a weird change in that, and there's supposed to be a lot of, one of the things I know that they've kind of released this information since the movie came out, and it kind of seems like it's in tandem with the publicity for the movie. They've sort of revealed that supposedly he had 5 books finished that his estate has said that were sort of intended to be published posthumously, and so they're gonna, supposedly new Salinger books will start coming out in 2015.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, 2015 is
2015 is
Like I
getting
said, the
crazier.
world's gonna end.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But at any rate, yeah, I'm still interested. Even when you hear a movie like that's not great, sometimes you think maybe people are expecting a little too much out of a documentary, but that can happen. Documentaries can just be put together poorly or without like a real clear through line to them. So,
Right.
but you're right. Yeah, September.
Meh.
Not really.
Hopefully, Prisoners kicks ass because I'm looking forward to that like high.
Well,
but
September
yeah.
really isn't part of the sort of prestige movies. It's kind of like the May of
summer
of the
season.
prestige season, which
Yeah.
is that it's only recently that it seems like they start putting out, like, that you can tell the difference between the movies that come out in August and then bam, in September you're into that kind of drama, more prestige, more adult filmmaking. So, but October, guys, is when it really gets interesting.
This is where it goes next level.
Yeah.
Or goes turbo. So yeah, my pick for October is gonna be something that I'm hoping that you, John, or Ronald pick the other one that I was gonna pick.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with 12 Years a Slave.
Okay.
Which is a new film from Steve McQueen. So this is the cast. So this is really all I need to tell you. Paul Dano again. He 2 for 2 on my list. Paul Giamatti, Brad Pitt.
Does
Alfred
anybody
Woodard.
beat the shit out of Paul Dano in this one?
I'm sure it happens. Benedict Cumberbatch.
It's in his contract.
Sarah Paulson, Michael Fassbender, and apparently the frontrunner for Best Actor this year, Chiwetel Ejiofor. It's supposed to be incredible. I watched a couple of featurettes that they released this week about this film. It's based off of an autobiography of Solomon Northup, a free black man who was kidnapped in D.C. under the guise of traveling around the country playing music, an accomplished musician, and basically was tricked and basically sold into slavery, and was enslaved for 12 years until he was, released. But looks incredible. I'm a fan of Steve McQueen's work, and everybody really involved with it. And I'm really excited to see just another. It's going to sound horrible, but like I feel like a really relevant, really well made film about that time in our history. I know we talked about it a lot last year with Tarantino's film, but it was different, different all around.
No,
A
I
whole
was
different-
thinking the exact same thing. Is I would love to see that type of attention to the filmmaking and making sure that everything is of that quality and the acting and everything
That's
else.
it.
You would love to see that applied to kind of like the side of things you didn't see in Lincoln or Django Unchained last year. Two big movies that kind of dealt
Right,
with
right.
slavery, but to see
Yeah.
it dealt with on that human scale with all those I mean the acting talent in that film is
and just the
astounding.
circumstances of an actual. I mean, just it's a free man that basically was stuck in this situation for 12 years. That was, just surviving. I mean, that like a big thing I read in an interview with him, and like the whole character, the idea of this character was that, he obviously was trying to remove himself from this situation. This is again based on his autobiography, but there came a point where his goal was just to survive and not fight. Not to fight to get out, not to try to prove that he was a free man before, but it was just I need to survive. It's almost like you feel like he's giving in, but it's almost. Does that make sense? Am I going on a weird
That
tangent?
makes sense.
Like it was really interesting listening to the lead actor talk about the role because I didn't really think about it that way. Because it's a different thing. Because it's not like somebody that just that's all they've known their entire life. It's a person that was an accomplished man, living equal. And it was his world was changed, and it wasn't like and it was a long time, and to know like his motivation and the way he kind of plays that character is just truly just I want to live to see my family again and not just fight this horrible act that's happened to me. I mean, it's going to be incredible. It's supposed to be great, and I can't wait to see that.
I'm looking forward to that too. Yeah.
Well, I feel that you've cleared the way, Steve, for
Yes.
me to mention
I laid out the gravel for you, John.
a movie that we have talked about actually before, and I think we're all pretty excited to see, but it's Alfonso Cuarón's Gravity,
Ugh.
which just looks insane. Every still I've seen looks beautiful. Every shot I've seen looks beautiful. The intensity of I mean, I haven't seen much beyond the trailer that just sort of shows what I don't know if this is a climactic event in the film or if this is what happens at the beginning of the film,
I think it's the beginning.
but the space station breaking up, and they call it actually. I did a little reading about it. There's this thing called the Kessler syndrome, which is when debris, like just outside of our atmosphere, the debris that's in orbit out there it's a cumulative effect of debris breaking up other debris and then breaking up other debris, and it just becomes just this garbage that's floating around just outside our atmosphere. So that's pretty crazy, but that does seem to be what's going on in the trailer for this movie is just a space station's breaking up, and as it breaks up, the debris is moving and tearing through the other debris, and so it's insane. I don't know where the movie goes from there. I don't know if the whole movie is Sandra Bullock floating around in deep space or if it goes into any crazy plot stuff that we don't know about, if it's just about survival or what, but I'm hypnotized by the trailers. I've heard so much about how many there's so many extended shots in this movie. There's so many filmmakers coming out saying that Alfonso Cuarón is it Alfonso?
Alfonso, yeah.
Alfonso. Yeah, I was shortening it. But I just want to give you props for Chiwetel Ejiofor. You did
Thanks,
beautifully
bro.
with that.
I only know that
It's fun to
because
say.
I
Say
only
it.
knew that because when at my old job, I worked on Dirty Pretty Things.
Yeah.
And I had
Which
to
is
say
a
his name all the time.
great movie.
But Alfonso Cuarón is always putting together these crazy sequences that either due to clever camera tricks or due to just plotting it out, there's the way that he can use one shot to tell so much information, and this story seems like it's just tailor-made for that type of technique where you're just following maybe one or two characters in a crazy tense situation. I mean, I'm prepared to have my mind blown by this movie.
Agreed. I couldn't pick. I knew you'd pick
Yeah,
that, so I
right.
gave the other one some props. So we're covered there.
Yeah, there's a few other good ones in October, but
Yeah.
definitely that was the one that just, like you said, Steve, you go with your gut. That's a movie that I cannot wait to see. I don't even know what it is, and I can't wait to see it.
Fuck. Yeah, I picked Gravity, so there that goes. But
I mean, it's good. I mean,
yeah, well, I think the one thing about the trailer that happened to me is something I am
That happened to you?
something I
Your job is stressful.
something I experienced was like that. I've seen a million scenarios that make me uncomfortable, but I had never seen a scenario that took place in space that I really felt like I could relate to that sort of fear. Like
Yeah.
whenever I've seen things like it was like a ship blowing up, it's always like, I killed you. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
I've blown up. But seeing
What movies are you watching?
you know what I was
The
thinking about?
Muppets in Space? I
No,
think?
it reminds me. What's the name of that show with the puppets in space?
The Muppets?
The puppets.
Mystery Science.
No, it's like it's like a '70s show.
Yeah.
Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds.
Oh,
With
wow.
the marionettes. The
Yeah,
creepy marionettes.
yes,
Ugh.
with the creepy eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that sort of stuff would
Nightmares.
happen all the time on those.
Mhm.
And like space seems like far away, but then when you see something like that,
You're the
you
only person who saw the trailers for Gravity, thought this looks good, like Thunderbirds.
like Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds was so good.
Yeah, it's like how fucked would you feel if you were just drifting out into
Yeah.
space?
Aimlessly.
We have no frame of reference for that.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you can't even think of something that would compare to that.
Mhm.
I can't.
What I would think it would be.
There's nothing.
It's
there's
like if you
nothing.
were-
The only thing that comes close would be being somewhere in the depths of the ocean. You know
That's
what I mean?
what I was
It would be
thinking.
That
That's
sense
exactly-
of like you're in an environment that like this is not for you. Like you're out in space. It's like okay, mankind, you're never more helpless.
But the ocean seems like a baby pool.
Yeah, and I don't think it's that long of a movie. 90 minutes.
That seems like a smart decision, though, to me.
Right. No, but it seems like therefore
Yeah.
it seems like if it's at 90 minutes, that seems like it's free to be completely tense and completely taut from beginning to end. And so yeah,
I can handle it.
wear diapers is probably the best advice for all of us. But what are some other movies in October that you might have liked to mention? There's one big one for me. Is The Counselor? The
Yeah,
new
that's
Ridley
what I
Scott
put.
film. That
That's
looks
my
really good.
second highest.
Another noteworthy thing about that movie is just that it was the first spec screenplay by the acclaimed novelist Cormac McCarthy,
Right.
who wrote the book that No Country for Old Men was based on, and also The Road.
The Road.
And so it's pretty exciting when a writer of that caliber takes on a screenplay as a project. And then the cast is amazing. I mean, it's got Michael Fassbender, it's got Javier
Pitt.
Bardem, it's got
Bradley
Brad Pitt,
Pitt.
it's got Penelope
Cameron
Cruz.
Diaz.
Yeah, it looks
Crazy.
Good.
Yeah,
Rosie Perez.
but Ridley Scott's made interesting duds before, so
Other picks?
I only had two other ones besides what you just said. I had the Carrie remake, only because I just have to see it because it's a horror movie and I'm just really intrigued. The casting seems really good in it as well. Julianne Moore as the mother.
Mhm.
And whatever, make fun of me. But I really want to see Runner Runner.
I want to see it too.
It's
Not on my list, but I
You
do
know what I'm
want-
talking about, right? That's
Yeah.
the one with
Oh,
Ben
yeah.
Affleck and
Ben
Justin
Affleck.
Timberlake.
Of
You know, that's
course.
the movie that was the basis of Justin Timberlake coming out and publicly endorsing Ben Affleck as Batman.
Oh,
There it
okay.
is.
If
He
anyone
looks-
was waiting for Justin Timberlake's feelings about how Ben Affleck would do, he came out and he basically said he backs up Ben, and he just worked with him. But the trailer for Runner Runner is one of the reasons why I'm not excited, because I feel like Ben Affleck looks like he's pulling a Bruce Willis in that. It looks like he's just kind of grinning his way through that movie a little bit. But
Probably.
I thought also that month a movie that I missed at the Maryland Film Festival this year, but Zero Charisma actually gets a wide release, or at least goes. I don't know how quickly it's going to be available in all markets, but
Right.
it gets released October 11th, which I'm looking forward to that. And then there's a movie called Adult Children of Divorce starring Adam Scott that
yeah.
looks like it might be kind of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
that does look good.
And then there's a crazy, silly comedy about a demon that comes out of a guy's butt that stars Ken Marino. Have you seen trailers
I've
for
seen
this?
the movie.
Bad Milo? Oh, okay. Or is that what it's called? Bad Milo? Is
Yeah.
it funny?
It's very funny.
It looks funny.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, it's
gotta
got a
see
great cast, and the concept is so over the top. Yeah, well, I mean, it looks right.
Yeah,
So that's another one.
You get to see it. It's,
Okay.
it's fun.
And I've always thought Ken Marino was funny, and it's
Yeah.
good to see him kind of carry a kind of movie where it looks like they're going to play off of his persona, which usually he gets. Usually a lot of him in pain is usually pretty funny, and it looks like a lot of pain
A
comes to
lot
Ken
of
Marino.
rectal pain. Yeah, anal pain. Yeah, that's all I had that month. I mean, there's some other ones, but they don't make my list.
Machete Kills. The Protector 2.
There's a random movie called We Are What We Are. Have you heard of this film? It's a remake
Yeah.
of a 2010 Mexican horror film about a family of cannibals, and like what outs them is like the mother dying, and like they basically do this like toxicology test on her, and she has this rare disease that comes about from eating human flesh, and it's like it's them getting uncovered. I saw the trailer like last week, and I'd never heard of the original film. I never heard of this movie. Trailer's really good.
That sounds really creepy and
Yes,
intense.
and the trailer makes it look super creepy too.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to check that out. But yeah, that's October.
October.
So
Oh,
let me
blue
see.
is the warmest color. I don't know if you saw anything about that.
I read about
it's like
that.
a foreign movie. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know much about it though.
That's
Sorry.
on my list.
Don't worry, Steve. You're forgiven.
I'll find out later. So let's see. Now this is where shit gets real.
Nav.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nav deck. Nav/deck.
Nav
it's just-
deck get
it
crazy.
It's crazy. I have like 20 movies on this list.
Really?
Well, I mean, like, sorry guys. But my November pick.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm sticking with this.
Mm-hmm.
Is The Wolf of Wall Street.
Fuck.
First movie from Scorsese since Hugo. Back with DiCaprio, based on true story, factual parts, whatever. It looks crazy. The excess of a stockbroker, McConaughey, Jonah Hill, Spike
Oh,
Jonze.
McConaughey looks so good in this.
Yes.
Kyle Chandler's in it. There's two McConaughey movies this month that I couldn't decide between. I went with this only because of the familiarity with the topic and the source. But I don't even know what else to say. The trailer is incredible, I think.
I know. I
And
was one of the most entertaining, like 2 or 3 minutes I've seen this year.
what a
Yeah.
way to sell a movie.
Like so exhilarating. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kanye West, the crazy scenes. It's like too much.
There's like
It almost-
monkeys in this, or something. There's something, there's an animal
Yeah.
involved, I think,
Yeah.
with Jonah Hill's character.
in
But
that
yeah, it just
scene,
looks really fun.
that scene where he's like humming that song to him
Mm-hmm.
to break up the craziness, it makes it even better. It looks so good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it looks like everything you like about Scorsese, everything you like about McConaughey, everything you like about DiCaprio, everything you like about Jonah Hill. You know what I mean? This movie
gonna be
really
really
looks
good.
like it's going to be so just full throttle. I mean, and the world that it's about is about these guys that were really living fast and you know, I mean, it's the kind of junk stock sales, right? I mean, it's basically about investor fraud.
Yep.
And in fact, I think the book that this is based on, or the guy's story that this is based on, was also the basis of the film Boiler Room,
Yeah.
which is Boiler Room is what they call those offices where it's a bunch of guys just, you know, furiously selling shit on the phone.
What you think of Ben Affleck in that movie?
I thought Ben Affleck was pretty good in that
Yeah,
movie.
thank you, John. That's what I was going for. That's like the one thing that I could usually throw to people that hate the Affleck and be like, "What about Boiler Room?"
I gave you a dramatic pause, but I can't really. No, he's been great in a few things. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love Boiler Room.
Yeah.
I really do. Actually, one of my friends.
I was trying to think who else was really great in that.
Ribisi's in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
And
wanted to
even
say
Vin
Seth
Diesel, I thought
Green,
was
but I
pretty
knew
good
it
in
wasn't Seth Green. It was Ribisi.
Nicky Katt's in it. But yeah, my buddy, a guy that he was in a fraternity with, like it's his brother, or like directed that film. It was
Oh,
weird.
wow.
They had like a
Wow.
screening for it at their college and everything. It was really at their fraternity house. It was really cool. But yeah, Wolf of Wall Street. Everything clicks for this movie.
I know.
Like,
I can't wait.
Just every piece of interest that I have in terms of stars that I like, topics that I'd be interested in, directors that I would want to watch.
Yeah.
It's all peppered together nicely.
Well, don't we all sort of hope that Scorsese makes another movie that we feel like is really like Goodfellas or something,
Totally.
where he delves into this culture and he gives you all these characters and it moves fast and it goes across an era? I think we're all sort of always hoping, even though you don't want any guy to repeat himself, but you're just always hoping that those directors who've made one of those unassailably great films are going to do something of that caliber. And this really looks to me like it's that entertaining, you know.
So good.
Yeah, it does.
So good.
And I would say that was my pick too. That got the double asterisk for Nav. But I want to just go ahead and throw a little mention to Spike Jonze's film Her, starring Joaquin Phoenix and the voice of Scarlett Johansson. That looks
man, that does look
super beautiful and super entertaining. And everything I've heard about it sounds like it's just a true romance. Like I can't tell if it seems like it might be a movie that gets creepy, or if it's about the technology, but it seems like it's very much about a guy who falls in love with a synthetic personality on the computer. So it's kind of like a Siri type personality but it's a little bit speculative. It's a little bit fanciful that it's like he gets his new computer and it seems like he goes through the process of kind of learning its personality while it learns his personality. And in the course of that, the only plot descriptions I found have said that they fall in love. So I don't know if it's going to be a sweet movie or if it's going to be about this computer starts killing people in his life because it's jealous or what. But with Spike Jonze, you just don't know. He always does such interesting things. And I'm not sure if this is true, but I think this is the first movie that he's just flat out written and directed.
Oh, wow.
Like it's got a Spike Jonze writing credit on it, and he's directing it. He's co-written.
Have you ever
think he
seen
co-wrote Where the Wild Things Are, but I think this is the first time that he's done both. So that makes me that hardens me to think that we might see a different side of him than we've seen previously.
Have you ever seen that short that he did with the two robots that fall in love?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
That's great.
if that's any indication of how this is gonna be,
This reminds me of, you know that show that you recommended to us, like that anthology show?
Black Mirror.
Yeah. That one episode in the second season with the
yeah.
husband that dies.
Yes.
And she like orders him like through email.
Yeah.
And like basically she's communicating with his memories, all of his social
That's
media.
a really good.
This film reminds me a lot of that episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that was great, and this looks great too.
it does look good.
My pick. All right, so every director has their movie that really defines. I don't know. I've always thought he was a good director. It's just that because his movies can be a little heavy-handed.
Okay, here we go.
On occasion, I think that there has to be a point where he is able to tell a story that's a little more universal. Because he tells a lot of stories that are really well done, but they speak to a certain audience. Because it's his perception of America, and it's accurate in a lot of ways, but everybody doesn't want to hear that truth. Spike Lee is given an opportunity, and I think from what I've been reading, that it's going to live up to the expectations, and that's Old Boy. I think that.
But you hate remakes.
I hate remakes.
John, thank you. You beat me to it.
I hate remakes.
You beat
But
me to it.
It's something about.
Because I thought before you were going to say every director gets to have his remake.
Something about the feel of this trailer that makes me feel like this might be a really good movie. Brolin. Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be really good. The Olsen kid, Elizabeth Olsen. Something about the combination of those people and Spike Lee being able to tell stories well. I think this is going to be a good movie. That's my pick.
I wonder how they're going to handle that one. There's a fight in the hallway in Old Boy that. I mean, how as a director do you follow up a scene like that? Do you adapt it? Do you do something different?
I think they're going to use the camera. I think they're going to use that Spike Lee. What do you call it? The dolly shot.
You know, there were some Spike Lee ghosts
that.
in Insidious Chapter 2. Did you notice there were a few scenes where somebody appeared to be like on a skateboard?
Yeah.
Like, with their arms out, like rolling away or towards the camera?
I love that, man.
Well, it's so funny how unmotivated it can be in Spike Lee's movies where it's like, oh, here's the scene where Malcolm X skateboards down the street slowly. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what he does with this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the more recent trailer, though. Has there been one that has got more of a plot in it?
I haven't seen anything other than that first one. But I'm still pretty, and the stills, stuff like that. So,
do you think they're gonna go full into all the crazy stuff in that? Yeah, the climax of that movie is nuts.
I know. I think they are, and I think they're gonna do it in a way that might exceed the sickness of the first one, just because this. I don't know. Something about it looks very like ballsy. I don't know. Ballsy.
Balls.
We all just had to throw that out there.
Yeah, we all had to say balls. That's how mature we are. We're getting punchy.
It's what we do.
Yep.
Runners up in November.
Oh man, so many. I don't want to just rattle them off, but what I got.
But just rattle them off.
That probably makes the most sense. You're right. Good call. About Time, a romantic comedy.
I love those.
With Damiel Gleason and Rachel McAdams and Bill Nighy. From the director of Love Actually. Looks pretty good.
And he said he's retiring after this.
Who? Bill Nighy?
No.
Or Richard Curtis?
Richard Curtis.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay, well then it better be good.
That's what he said. He kind of said he
you
wanted...
talked to him? He called you?
You know, he called me up. No, I read somewhere that he just had said that he really wanted to like focus on his life and other things, and that he wanted to like leave with a film that he felt made a really important statement. And
yeah, the trailer's great. I mean, it looks really sweet and could be really funny. I actually like a lot of his movies. I mean, the big one, like the big blockbuster, like I'll check out Thor, and then actually I'm kind of excited for the new Hunger Games movie.
Oh, I'm very excited.
I'm
like
not
that.
a fan of. I don't know the books. I didn't love the first movie, but
you didn't love the first. Okay.
I didn't love it. I didn't. I liked it, and I thought that was a good reaction for like not really caring about it at all. But this one looks really good.
It does.
The ones you guys picked are definitely on my list. I want to see a film called Nebraska.
Yeah.
I haven't seen.
A friend of mine saw it and said it was incredible.
With Bruce Dern and Stacy Keach and
oh God, what's his name from SNL? Oh God,
Will Forte, Bill Hader.
Will Forte.
Will Forte.
Is it Will? Are we giving him a different
it is
first
Will
name?
I think it's Will
Forte.
Forte.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Bill Hader, Will Forte.
Yeah, it's Will Forte's in it. Apparently, it's great.
Yeah. MacGruber.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's going to be from now on. The one that didn't make it, that it was my very, very close, was actually the Dallas Buyers Club, which I'm really looking forward to. Again, another one I knew nothing about besides seeing photos of Matthew McConaughey.
An emaciated-looking
yeah,
McConaughey.
and
yeah.
Jared Leto. Based on a true story. Looks great. Jennifer Garner's in it as well.
It looks great. Jennifer Garner's in it as well.
Come on. I love Jennifer Garner, just for the record. Because she loves Ben Affleck.
Yeah, right. Of course, you guys have that. You guys have that in common.
Yeah.
She has a very
What? I'm sorry.
she has a very muscular face.
She does. She's very
It's very like trim.
skeletal face.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Mandela. I want to see Mandela.
Yeah.
But I mean, after seeing what's his face as Mandela in
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Is this Idris Elba?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I hope it's good. It sounds sort of like a weird Scottish something at some of the scenes. Like have you watched the trailer?
Yeah.
It's like scenes where it doesn't quite.
Oh, you mean
sound,
his accent?
his accent's not quite whatever it's supposed.
He was
to be.
always able to do the Baltimore accent on The Wire really well,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it hit his British accent. But I have seen him in other things where it seems like he's, like that his real accent kind of slips through a little.
I love Luther.
Yeah,
Luther.
I haven't seen any of the new ones, but
Season 3. Fuck. I'm like halfway through it. It's pretty good.
Anything for you? They didn't make. They
no,
didn't say.
we covered them all.
Cool.
Yeah, okay. Then December.
That leaves 1 month.
Deck.
Deck.
Deck Nav.
This is a stacked month as well. This is
Knob
where
deck.
all the Oscar baits. It's really kind of heavy this month. And obviously, looking at this list here, I'm like thinking of all the actors or actresses in these films that I have, and like I don't know how many Oscars they've already won among them. It's like ridiculous. But
What is your pick, sir?
what's that?
What is your pick,
I think I know what
sir?
his pick's gonna be.
I don't
What
think, I don't
is
think you
your
do.
pick? I know what it is too.
Write it down on a piece of paper, both of you.
Well, I'm
I can't trust you, John.
What
I'll do
is I will I'll put a mark on the list that I'm looking at here.
Okay.
It's on my list, and it was hard for me not to pick it.
Okay. Basically, my pick is if I
Is
took.
it top one?
No.
No, what?
No.
What? Let me see what you.
No. Although that's on my list, Ronald. So well played. But basically, if you took two of my favorite movies of the past few years, and took the cast, the filmmaker,
top.
and put them into a movie together, it would be this film. And that would be if you took The Fighter and Silver Linings Playbook and put them into a movie. It would be called American Hustle. You got it, John?
Yes.
All right, good.
Damn.
Because you were so in love with Silver Linings Playbook. I was too, but I mean, I just knew you wouldn't be able to resist David O. Russell
couldn't.
with this cast. The
couldn't.
trailer is incredible for this one too.
It is.
Bradley Cooper, Amy Adams, Jennifer Lawrence, De Niro, Christian Bale.
With like the worst combination of awful '70s fashion and hair that you've ever seen in a film, but it works.
But Jennifer Lawrence looks so good.
Oh
though.
yes, she does.
Does.
Oh, my
I'm talking about the
God.
guys. Yeah,
The women look extremely slutty.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that sounds good. Oh man.
Excited.
It's gonna be good.
Oh man. And I don't really know a lot about the subject, the Abscam scandal.
Yeah.
Reading a little bit about it for this, I mean, it just seems like it would. It feels like a movie that you'd almost like. We were talking about Scorsese, like you would. It feels like he could make a movie like this too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really interested to see how David O. Russell handles it with such a cast, and you gotta believe that this movie is gonna be good.
It's
Yeah.
it's gonna be
They're
entertaining.
putting
whatever.
they're putting it out right in that heart of all these other movies that I'm sure you guys will mention following me.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be great.
Yeah.
It's got to be great, and to have this type of talent with it, and I just can't wait. American Hustle.
Yeah, American
John,
Hustle.
what do you got?
Well, I think it's a bit of a predictable choice for me, but I cannot. I have not seen anything that doesn't make me think this movie looks great. But it's the new Coen Brothers movie, Inside Llewyn Davis. It just looks like it's got a great cast. It looks like it's beautifully shot. I noticed that it was co-produced with Scott Rudin, who also worked on No Country for Old Men, and what was the other movie he collaborated on with them? It was another one of their good ones.
Oh, brother.
Oh, True Grit and No Country for Old Men were also co-produced by Scott Rudin. And that just to me tells me this might be one of those, because those are two of my favorite Coen brothers of the last 10 years.
Awesome.
In the sense that they just feel like movies that are made both to fulfill that artistic requirement of a Coen Brothers movie, but they also are reaching towards a mainstream audience by being really well-formed movies with, the sets, the costumes, everything about them. And, I love the Coen Brothers when they do kind of small and weird films like A Serious Man, too. But that movie was a kind of a niche.
Wait, there was a sequel to A Serious Man?
A Serious Man 2.
Oh, wow.
Even more seriouser. Totally serious, guys. But this movie just looks... I mean, you see the trailer. It's got all those kind of Coen-y touches, like having John Goodman in a movie. But it's the way that it's shot, the storyline. I mean, it's all about... It's actually based on an actual figure... Dave Van Ronk, who was an important folk musician in New York at the height of the kind of folk revival that happened in the early 60s. And he's kind of a forgotten name, but he was an important influence on a lot of people. And he was kind of known as a guy who blended a lot of styles and was in New York City making this folk music. And it was sort of ironic for people that were in that scene, because this was like the nucleus of this music scene that was, was being popular all over the world. But the music itself came from all these other places. There was no like indigenous folk music that was indigenous to New York. So it's all these different flavors, and it's all these musicians that were doing something very authentic and traditional, but we're also kind of mixing it with all the cultural things going on at the time in New York. So that's a very interesting, fertile period for music. And it's exciting to think of someone making even a biopic of a guy like that. But the notion of the Coen brothers kind of coming in and doing their sort of loosely based on type thing, where you might get a picture of this world, but it really looks like we're following this one guy. Yep. And from the what I can tell, we're following him as he tries to catch a friend's cat that he has accidentally lost, which to me feels like there's your Coen brothers element of like, here's what's going to pull you through this world. The other thing that blew me away about this, though, is that Oscar Isaac, I barely recognized him from Drive, and I had to kind of do a double take to realize that he's the the criminal who's just gotten out of prison in Drive. And in this, he looks like a totally different sort of guy. So it looks funny, it looks moody, it looks beautiful, it looks like the Coen brothers, and I can't wait.
Okay. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is what I chose for December, because I'm that type of person.
It looks good.
Looks good, looks beautiful. But I feel like I'm being manipulated when I watch the trailer.
Do you worry about a guy... We should say Ben Stiller is directing this and starring in it.
Yeah.
Do you worry about a guy who directs himself in a movie where he looks so beautiful and sad? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Does it seem strange to imagine filming yourself being that character? Because it looks like it's going to be a really like heart... I can't even tell what kind of movie it's going to be, but the trailer is an emotional experience.
Yeah,
almost.
It looks like something very like egotistical about that. But
it could be.
Could be.
It looks good though.
But also looks beautiful. And something very beautiful. Frame. Every frame I've seen in that movie just looks really beautiful. The color palette, super bright, super vivid colors. I like stuff like that. And people getting tackled out of windows. Come on.
Well, Adam Scott appears to be playing a douchebag.
Yeah, well, that's a win for me.
And Kristen Wiig, who I've always had a crush on, looks beautiful in it.
She does,
Looks
man.
gorgeous. So yeah,
she does that.
No, I think that it just looks like a movie that's if it hits the right tone, it could be a really powerful movie. And you're right. There's something almost self-serving. I can't quite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could be like an ego trip for Ben Stiller. But when you think about the movies he's directed, he's got a pretty good track record. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
There's definitely a lot of positive buzz about that film. Like that this is like the Ben Stiller film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a movie he's been working on for a long time, and it's like a passion project, and that it shows apparently. Like, I don't know that people have actually seen the whole film, but from a lot of the early buzz on it, that's what it sounds like. I mean, I think it looks great too.
Where are you guys with Ben Stiller in general?
I like Ben Stiller.
Yeah,
I think I don't really like the Meet the Parents films or like those stupid comedies, but.
See, I like Meet the Parents, but it didn't need two others.
The sequels,
and I think his career is full of that, though, where it's like there was something
Yeah.
kind of fun about it, and then it maybe got repeated.
Yeah, basically, I don't like the ones where I feel like he's totally like it's a paycheck. Just pump out what was funny about that first one. Like not that I love like Night at the Museum, but cool, cute film for like families. Yeah. But then this is like a franchise now. I didn't like the sequels to Meet the Parents, but I've liked Ben Stiller for a long time. I mean, like I loved him. When he had his own show on MTV. One of my favorite movies growing up as a teenager was always Reality Bites. which he's like most people don't even remember him in that movie because it wasn't like the Ben Stiller that most people knew at that time. But I like Ben Stiller a lot. I think he's funny, and I think he could be great in this movie, and I think it looks pretty great too.
I think that he periodically makes a movie that fits into me with sort of the career I had in mind for him. When I saw There's Something About Mary, and I thought he was so great in that, I really was like, I want to love this guy. And it was like maybe every second or third movie he's made was pretty good, and then it got to his sort of Hollywood period. Like,
how do you feel about Cable Guy?
I think it's great.
Me too.
Yeah,
I think it's
Love
a real.
Cable Guy.
I would say it's underrated, except that everyone I talk to who's sort of a movie buff seems to say that it's great. So maybe it's one of those, like, maybe it's an underdog kind of movie, but I think that it's just judged because it failed at the box office as compared to Ace Ventura. Like
miserable failure.
Didn't Jim Carrey get a $20 payday? I mean, $20
a crispy $20 bill.
$20. I think he's making that was
he
when
went for scale on
that was
one.
when he was the $20 million man.
Yeah,
and he was making, and so I think that was the other thing, is that movie had so much pressure on it to follow up those huge grossing. But back then it was a huge deal when a movie broke $100 million, and he had like a couple in a row, and Cable Guy stalled it out. But I thought it was the best thing Jim Carrey had done up to that point. Really,
yeah, I think it's great. I love Cable Guy.
I love the Menendez brothers kind of riff that they do. Which Ben Stiller plays them. Yeah, within the movie.
Ben Stiller he's funny. He is funny.
You know what he is? He's like the Tom Cruise of comedy, because he's 100. He's 100%. And not just that he does a great impression of Tom Cruise, but he just is 100% into it. He puts his body into it. His physique is into it. You know what I mean? Everything about that guy is so intense. And sometimes you get that sort of, like, I do think that there's almost like a backlash against Ben Stiller because he has been in so many successful movies that weren't necessarily his best work. Maybe he needs a few more movies like Tropic Thunder.
Speaking of Tom Cruise.
Yeah. What'd you say?
No, I was saying.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Tom Cruise.
No, you're right.
God, that was a great movie.
But yeah, I think that he's almost like, a lot of people seem to love to hate Ben Stiller, and I'm always kind of rooting for him. But even though I would say that he's made some movies that weren't mine.
He has a lot of shitty movies. I mean, that's the thing. But for the ones that are great, I mean, I'll never forget them. You know what I mean? Like Zoolander. The first time I saw
Blue
Zoolander.
Steel. Yeah.
See, I mean, there's 3 movies right there that are like some of the funniest movies I can think of, or that I quote.
I hated that movie when I first saw it.
Really? Oh
I
my
walked
God.
out of the theater. I saw it
dying.
again, and I realized it like.
Something clicked.
Yeah, something clicked, and I realized that the rhythm of the movie was. I was just missing it the first time I saw it.
The scene at the gas station with "Wake Me Up Before You
Oh
Go
my God,
Go."
John, that just was in my mind.
That was the moment when I was like, I don't care what else this movie has in it. I was gonna piss myself watching
And it gets
that
so
scene.
dark at the end where it goes in slow motion. You realize, oh no! Oh my God, so good. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Now that we talk about that more, that movie, Walter Mitty, is going to be really interesting. I actually remember seeing the original one, like when I was a kid, like watching like with my grandparents, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I actually really liked it as a kid. I think like
Danny
Kaye, yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously a way different film now, but the source material I had a lot of fun with when I was a kid. But
yeah, and the imagery just looks really strong.
absolutely.
Still laughing at
Zoolander?
Still laughing at Zoolander? Or?
Gary leak my balls.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That movie is so fucking funny.
Will
Like
Ferrell
Owen Wilson in it.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell. Everybody is so funny. When they break into the headquarters and like they're like hitting the computer like they're monkeys. You're like, the files are in the computer. Like that is so. It's brilliant. It is like totally what you think like a idiot model. Like, oh God, it's such a good.
But it's
movie.
also like, if you followed, and it's which you mentioned Ben Stiller's show. If you followed him since his sketch comedy days, he's a guy who, like, the silliness. He's got a really good sense of silly, you know, and it reminds me, like in Tropic Thunder when he's doing was it Simple Jack? That stuff is so like it's silly. It's like there's a silliness that he can tap into that is just super potent.
Big mistake. He went full retard on that one. Oh God, I love it.
God, that
now
was
that we're
so-
talking about, I
I know.
really like Ben Stiller a lot. I need to watch those 3 that we just talked about.
God.
Again. But
Simple Jack. Did he have freckles?
Yeah,
probably he had to. Yeah. So yeah, December. Back to December.
Man,
Speaking of
Ben
Will
Stiller.
Ferrell, Anchorman, the legend continues.
Yeah, I
yeah.
wanna
Who
see
knew
that.
this was going to be like a Ben Stiller love fest?
Yeah,
But
that was fun. That was fun.
God.
Anchorman, I want to see. I do want to see Saving Mr. Banks, which Ronald thought was my pick. But the last one I had was, and I knew nothing about the source material, the play it's based on from Tracy Letts, but August Osage County, which, I mean, the new trailer that came out this week, I think looks incredible. Again, Benedict Cumberbatch. Julia Roberts, Meryl Streep. Apparently, she's already like written her Oscar speech from what people were saying, but looks really cool. Like
Really? What a conceited bitch.
I know, fucking Meryl Streep.
Winning.
So fucking smug.
Just like a family drama reunion, brings his family together. That obviously they have a lot of issues, but
A movie that looks as good as the title is terrible.
exactly. I like that.
It is a terrible title.
Sam Shepard, Abigail Breslin, Ewan McGregor. Just looks awesome. Just seeing, it's like weird. Even if I don't necessarily respond so much to the material of what the movie's about, like this family coming together, and you obviously air out all their baggage or whatever. Just seeing that much talent on the screen and knowing that the material is good enough that they're going to be great in it. Like, I think that's enough to just get me excited to watch. Just to watch like Julia Roberts and Meryl Streep in a scene together, that's gonna be great, you know. Or seeing Sam Shepard or Richard Jenkins is in it as well. I think like with Ewan McGregor in a scene that will be great as the father son or whatever it is. That setup for me is worth a scene of me.
And what's the actress's name? Is it Juliette Nicholson?
Juliette Lewis?
No, Juliette Nicholson.
She's also in that film.
I think her name's Juliette Nicholson.
Oh, she plays the one sister, right?
Yeah, and she was on Boardwalk Empire.
Right.
She's really good.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing her in a film.
I think the name is right.
I think I read somewhere that she kind of steals the movie. That her
Really?
character is
Okay.
the real surprise of the film. So
That'd be cool. Did you guys have anything else for?
No,
Admittedly, I haven't seen The Hobbit from last year yet. I
didn't see The Hobbit either.
Well, I could sum it up for you. The dwarves talk Bilbo into going on an adventure, and then they start the adventure.
All right.
That's the movie.
Yeah, that's the movie.
Saved 3 hours of my life. Thanks,
Yeah.
John.
So now that you can pick up the new one knowing that they're on an adventure.
All right.
That's how you start it.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, coming off of a summer where, like, I think overall we weren't really super impressed. There were some standouts or some ones that we really replied to or responded to.
We replied to
them. We wrote back to the email.
Have you heard anything back from any of those films?
I never heard back
God,
from
I never do
from
either.
World War Z.
I feel like this second half is a lot better than the first half. Summer,
Yeah, I mean,
fucking fluke.
and that's usually what happens. Like, you definitely get, like, the cream of the crop usually comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you want to say quality-wise, like the substance-wise, it usually comes out in the fall. I mean, this is, like, the most exciting time because, like, you know, we always talk about the Oscars. I love talking about Oscars and all the Oscar pools and you know, the people that predict them and everything. This is, like, the season for them. And all the blogs I follow, they just go crazy over this shit. Like, all these movies we just talked about, they're already talking about it. No one's even seen these movies.
That's gonna be good.
It's going to be good times, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking forward to having episodes based around probably all the movies that we just picked.
Yeah.
I think we Novdeck movies that didn't make our picks for those for November and December, but after that, there's a lot of bad movies we have to watch. That's when we've been Jan-febbed.
A lot of Jan Febs coming up. I'm looking forward to the movies that surprise me. I mean, I really do like a good surprise. And although I picked Old Boy, I'm still, you know, I have my doubts, but like I really want to.
You want it to be surprised by.
Yeah, I want to be surprised and be like, oh, that exceeded my expectations.
It's kind of how I feel, only because I didn't know a lot about it. Honestly, even that it was in a film that existed is Prisoners.
Yeah, Prisoners looks like it's
I
gonna...
feel like it has a really, really great shot at just
Yeah.
completely surprising me and like being like, this is a dark.
Does it come out like the
like
27th? When does it come
It comes
out?
out next Friday, the 20th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it has that. It could be that movie that makes its way onto like a top 10, maybe. That's like, oh, I didn't even know that movie existed. Possibly.
It'd be kind of like The Gray of 2013.
But yeah, this fall is gonna be awesome, and I'm like I said, look forward to going over them as they come out, and I'm sure we'll have plenty more to say once we actually see them. But
It'd be really sad if we don't have anything more to say about any of these films.
I was right. It was good.
We just come in here and say,
That's all I
"Saint
was
it." Next.
I was right.
Yeah.
Or Ronald comes back from Old Boy. I wasn't surprised.
That one.
Let's hope not.
Very sad.
Otherwise. But yeah, check us out on the iTunes. Subscribe if you're listening to this. Hopefully you're already subscribed. Even if you don't subscribe, just come back and listen to the next one.
Yeah, please do.
Rate it, star it, do whatever you want with it. Don't delete it, though.
We should probably give out a mailing address now that people know that Ronald likes surprises. Maybe people could start sending presents in. That might cheer him up.
Think about his work mailing.
He's getting
What's
stressed
your cubicle
out.
number?
He's getting stressed out with his job. It'd be nice if every time he came in here, we had a nice present for him. So,
Right.
anybody out there that wants to like knit Ronald a scarf or something and send it in, he likes surprises.
And mothballs. Send me some mothballs.
Don't do that.
No, you know what? I hope they discontinue mothballs. That was actually why I brought it up. I hate them.
But yeah, hit us up, movieschmovie@gmail.com, movieschmovie.net.
You know, I have a bone to pick with you listeners out there. When the podcast is over, you have approximately 6 days and 23 hours to fill before the next episode. Sometimes even more than that. So what is your problem? Why aren't you going onto iTunes, giving us a review?
Don't be a
hopefully
dick.
a good review. Tell your friends, subscribe. There's all these things we say every time. I don't think they're doing it, Ronald. Well, how do we
just
get through
listen.
to these people?
I don't know, man.
Steve?
Brute force.
I got nothing.
All right.
Just being persistent. Just keep hitting them over
Keep
the
it
head with
going.
it.
I just don't think you've been living up to your potential as an audience lately. That's all.
Review it.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
What are you looking at, John? Is that an audience member over
Yeah, I
there?
have like an imaginary audience member. You don't. There's someone standing behind you, Steve.
the smallest person.
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. As always, you've made our day. Take care.
Sorry about the strong words.
No, I think it was warranted. People need to leave fucking reviews.
Use some goddamn reviews.